seems that in the past, there were intense rainstorms that would have breached lakes on the planet Mars. According to researchers, billions of years ago, rain used to fall on the Martian plains, and they were so intense that they would breach lakes. According to this new research, the red planet's now empty lakes suggest that a huge amount of liquid water must have spilled from the skies roughly 3.5 to 4 billion years ago. This rainwater would have been enough to sculpt river-like channels and breach several lake basins. According to the researchers, this is extremely important because 3.5 to 4 billion years ago, Mars was covered with water. Mars has a lot of rain or snow melt to fill those channels and lakes. After doing models to showcase what Mars' climate would have looked like years ago, they say that it would have been incredibly difficult, but the studies on the geomorphology and chemistry of the planet certainly suggest that it was once home to an abundance of water. It seems like Mars was a water-based planet, and of course, this abundance of water would have been fed by a lot of rainfall and snow melt. According to the scientists, they are not sure how long these downpours lasted or whether the weather was torrential, a drizzle, or a mix of both torrential and drizzles. However, there are marks on the surface of Mars which suggest that there were once heavy enough showers to leave a lasting impression. Sadly now, however, Mars is completely dry. They are still trying to understand how so much water was there once, and then it all disappeared. Through the use of satellite imagery and topography, researchers have done examinations on 96 lake basins on Mars that they think may have formed all those billion years ago. Some of these basins had ruptured from overflowing water, known as open basins, while other basins remain intact. These basins are called closed basins on Mars. By measuring the lakes and their watersheds, the researchers were able to show how much rainfall and snowmelt would have been needed to fill the closed basins without breaching them, while simultaneously overflowing the open basins. When the case exists where a closed and an open basin were fed by the same river, researchers could predict both the maximum and the minimum rainfall that might have fallen in a single event. According to the researchers, in just one rainstorm, which could have lasted for days or even thousands of years, researchers would have estimated precipitation on Mars would have fallen somewhere between 4 and 159 meters. While the effects can be seen across the Martian planet, not all areas were impacted equally. Some open basin lakes were in regions that would be considered semi-arid on our Earth, so they probably received less water than more humid parts. It's also important to mention that there are constraints based on threshold and not a cumulative limitation that must have occurred during a single quasi-continuous runoff episode, which may have occurred multiple times. The inlet valleys, large erosional volumes require cumulative water volumes that generate Valley exceed lake basin volumes. Deeper channels driven to the lakes were probably chiseled out over several downpours, which would probably lead to flooding of the lakes on several occasions. Valleys were not carved simply by water, and by overestimating the impact of rainfall, we may also be miscalculating the rainfall itself. Precipitation and aridity could help improve and test our climate models for the red planet, but they also say that findings are just a piece of a larger puzzle. Being able to understand the climate evolution of Mars will be critical to assessing its potential for harboring life, and that's the reason for the Mars 2020 Perseverance rover that is on its way to the red planet, and it will be landing in a lake bed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this new discovery about the planet Mars. Whilst the planet is currently dry at the moment, discoveries have been made in regards to the basins, both closed and open, basins that would be seen on the surface. Also, it seems that based on what exists on the surface of Mars, there were planet-wide rainstorms that were extremely intense, and these intense downpours would have created basins and would have overflooded to lead into creation of lakes. Also, we will know more when Perseverance touches down in the lake bed and does some further examinations. Thanks for watching.